be a part of it.
Well, I agree with you. I really agree with you. The whole thing is, how do we make ourselves evident to what we have the possibilities to do and to educate? Because the majority of the people who needs this information are those who I consider unreachable right now. And what I mean by unreachable is they would prefer to be characterized or have roles as the sluts and the gang members and the so forth and so on. Because any one of us decide to do a comic book or animation or a movie, and we wanted to say, for example, concentrate on our president right now. There's not enough our presidents right now, and then there's not many people who might really be with the idea of playing a president, a black president right now. Well, I'll play an assassin, or I'll play this, or I'll play that. So I think one of our problems, and what it can be done, with all our brain and all of our imagination, and with other groups out there that we don't know who are on our side, it can be something that's achieved. But how do we start this achievement and get it out there where these dumb folks really stop being dumb and realize that we are kings and queens and we can achieve anything that we want to, and it's evident because it's already out there. So pull up your pants and let's start making this move. How do we get these kids or these people, these grown-ups, these backward folks to start moving forward?
You know, when I was in school, we used to have these sessions where we would sit around and chop it up. And one of the observations that, and it was not mine, it wasn't the brothers and sisters in the room, but one of the observations that was brought up, was consistent, was that when a prophet comes to people, he typically comes as one of those people, and he speaks their language. And I think oftentimes when we try and force the information on our children, we lose right there, because now we don't come to them and ask them first, what are you interested in? What are you checking for? What do you like? And possibly listen to some answers that are not necessarily wise or make sense, but again, they're children. And some of them haven't been processed fully. They haven't gone through any sort of rites and passes. They don't have a lot of the skills and the tools that they need. That's by definition of the relationship. You're coming to someone who has been deprived of things. And I think first, however it's conceptualized ultimately, is if you're thinking about speaking to them in their language and coming to them and asking them what it is, where they are first, I think that's at least a place to start where communication can occur. And I'm an eternal optimist. I can't, as someone who, again, and I study film, and I can honestly say I studied film my entire life. My family members can come in and tell you stories about me being 7 years old, 8 years old, watching like old Fritz Lang movies and stuff like that. The Seven Samurai. My sister coming in the house, I'm watching, old Japanese films with subtitles. She's like, what are you doing here? And there is a body of work that has been built up in this country that represents us a certain way. And there's this whole dictionary, there's this whole dialogue that has been created that people use and they don't even realize that they're using it. With regard, the whole idea of where did this pants hanging off thing come from? And this is that even before jail culture and what that represented in jail, long before that, what slang, they have no idea what a cakewalk is. There's all of this stuff that has been going on, right? But as writers, as scribes, I think it's our job to use the dialogue that has been created. And granted, it's been created for the purpose of negative effect, but it's also an effective, when you talk about mass media and communication, this country is the world's best at it. We don't make cars anymore. We don't make any sort of hard machine. We don't make TVs. We don't make DVD players. But as far as popular culture and the dissemination of information on this planet, nobody does it better than us. And when you talk about pop culture on this planet, the source of pop culture on this planet is us. And I mean us, the big us in that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there was a marketing study done in 2000. Every major city in every country on this planet, and they went out and they just took a whole bunch of data. And one of the key pieces of data that they found, 2000, world millennium, and every single major city on this planet, at some point in time during the celebrations in every single major city on this planet, there was a hip-hop music celebration in some shape, form, or fashion, everywhere on the globe. So when we talk about the land, whatever and however you decide to use that information is there, and it's actual and factual, that everybody, when you know, someone was talking about Star Trek earlier, now in the future everybody speaks with a British accent, I guess, you know. I don't know how that happened. You know, everybody in Star Wars, I guess, speaks, you know, British. I don't know, but and what that communicates and why that was chosen. There was a reason why. That wasn't by accident. You know, that Obi-Wan speaks, you know, Alec Guinness, you know, is British in the future. Okay. Here and now, everybody understands and marches to a particular syncopated beat.
So, I mean, for me, like I grew up in Venice, California, and one of the first albums that I bought was Boogie Down Productions, By Any Means Necessary. And I was like, yes, you know, and all my friends listened to it, and I was like, one day I'm gonna come out to New York and I'm gonna come see what he's talking about, right? Because for me, that opened my eyes. And if you listen to like KRS-One songs, what he was talking about, he had you like read the Bible differently. It was eye-opening, and it was kind of like hip hop. I think for me at least was the thing that reached across cultures. Do you know what I'm saying? Like my wife's from Mongolia, and I was talking to her little brother the other day, and I had like a Wu-Tang shirt on, and he throws up a W. I mean, this kid just from that one thing, and you know that the ability of that culture to reach across all different languages and all different things. What it does is it gives, I think, an understanding of a culture. And I was talking about this last time I was here, and I think literature can do the same thing. So even though like the mass media definitely has, you know, you go into like any major bookstore, you're not going to see half of the books that you see in here, right? But the thing is, but the major bookstores are falling, and I think that a lot of the digital revolution that's happening, all the stuff like on Facebook, all the people who are using Skype, all the people who are using Twitter, they're looking for something different. And you can see, you know, if you go out there and you try to see what people are looking for, they're looking to see some people, you know, I have my book in like Indiana and Iowa and all these places that I have never been to in my life, you know, but they are reaching out, and there's a way to get people different things. So I mean, I don't know, I think that model of like how hip hop like branded itself and got itself into different people's ear, it's a fantastic way for literature to go both ways, because we could be reading other people's things, they could be reading our things, and once you understand someone's culture, once you understand who somebody is, you know, there's a want to go experience that and to experience some type of love.
Well, you know, just to go back to how you originally opened up with what you said, I agree with you. You know, when I was writing, when I wrote my book Whiteout, I was basically writing it for my kids, okay?
Yeah.
But I was also writing it for today's youth. I was speaking their language. My book is very graphic, but I already know, because it's been tested, where they will turn to the next page, okay? But the thing is, I was also condemned by church members, so forth and so on, because my book was too graphic. I drive the bus, and this one lady, I have tattoos all over me, okay? And this one lady, she said she only got the book only because I've been a very good driver to her for the last 6 years. So she just wanted to support me in that endeavor, okay? She read the book, and she read the book in 4 days. And she emailed me her telephone number and told me to call her. When I called her, she apologized to me. She apologized to me saying, I did something that I'm an ordained minister for 10 years, and I did something that I shouldn't have done. I judged you because I assumed just from your tattoos and the way you wear your hair that you are a gangster, you are a ragamuffin bus driver, okay? But once I picked up your book and started reading it, I saw, and even the first few pages, I was ready to put it down because you were cursing in it, so forth and so on. But then, as something told me to continue reading the book, and as I read it, I realized what your message was all about. And I said, well, thank God you gave me that opportunity, because my own mom didn't give me that opportunity. She read a few pages, and I used a curse word and God in the same sentence, and she put the book down. And if she would have read the whole thing, she would have understood what I was trying to do. I'm speaking today's youth's language. So the problem is, how do we convince those who can help us to help those who want to be helped, but they don't want to be helped from their level, they want to be helped on their own level, which is what you're talking about. How do we get to that?
Yeah. About children and parents. The parent is the bow and the child is the arrow. How far the child flies, okay, and the direction the child flies is dependent upon the bow, how strong and steady the bow is.
Okay.
But there's a point where that bow leaves, the arrow leaves the bow.
Right.
The arrow's got to go. So at a certain point in time, the book, you're the bow, the book is the arrow, and you've got to let it go.
Right.
And then once it's gone, if you've done, right, and the people it's supposed to meet, it's supposed to touch, the light is supposed to change.
And it is.
It will do that.
And it is.
And everything that other folk who can't get past 2 pages, well, they missed out.
And see, that's the problem, because the people, let's just say you're a teacher, or you represent the Board of Education, okay? If you could just get past the first page of my book, the next person, whatever, if you could just get past that, okay, maybe you'll go, I need to institutionalize this particular book and the philosophy to the kids that I have power over. And that's where the fly, I'm with the fly, because that's how I am. I don't give a damn. It's gonna fly. But the whole thing is, the people who are what I call obstacles in my way, and they actually supposed to be helping holding that boat for it. But this is a problem, because sometimes it's not the youths. Like when I drive the bus, it's not the youths that give me the problem. It's the grown folks. It's the grown folks setting examples for the youths. They are all wrong. So again, how do we? Yes.
I'd just like to say, this is, January 1 is going to be the 11th year that we've been in existence in this space.
Okay.
And
That's right.
and it is not because we've sold enough books to still be here. What we have to get from this dialogue, because there are no coincidences, the universe has a way of putting us together. For those of us who have the gifts that we do, writing, art, whatever it is that we do, the results business isn't ours.
Okay.
All, like Brother said, is whatever your gift is, writing books, your organization, that's your assignment. The folk who get it, some folk didn't come to get it this time, so they won't get it. Some people are gonna get it later. Some people won't get it at all. But that's not our business. That's not our assignment. You have done a marvelous job. You wrote the book. You are reaching folk that you don't even know you're reaching by just dialoguing. Look, you see what I'm saying? So stay out of the results business. We've already started the dialogue. Folk are listening, they're hearing. Those people that are supposed to be here, those people that are supposed to get it, are getting it. There's going to be a universal something that's going to happen with folk like us who are on the move for whatever it is we came here to do. And some folk are gonna be left behind. You know the book Left Behind?
Yes.
Some folk are gonna be left. But it's just our assignment to do what we do. You see what I'm saying? So all of us, just the energy that came today, you know, because it looked like it was just going to be Zed. But I had already learned in my experience, if one person show up, if two people show up, those are the folk who were sent to get the information. So we don't worry about how many, who comes, because as Chris said, the information that's in this cultural center is not in most Barnes and Nobles.
Right.
I didn't say that.
Quote
You
me.
know what I mean? So we've got to take what we have and we've got to build. This is an energy and a rate. This is magnificent from one scope of the earth to the other. This sister came from DC. You see what I'm saying? So we just got to know who we are, what our purpose is, and keep it moving. Mom will probably get it later if that's her assignment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the folk on the bus or whatever, don't worry about it, brother. You've already produced. You've already done the work. And I know these young men that just came in the door, a lot of them know you.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's the work. You're on the mark. So we just need to put it all together on a regular basis like we're doing now and let it grow. Let it be.
And I agree with that, to echo that, whatever it is you're doing, you're going to find your audience. All right? Whether you do yours as a documentary or, you know, me starring in it, or you go ahead and do yours as a movie. I'm looking for a new job.
Don't be shy.
You do yours as a theater production, and for the comic book and the action figures, you know, Super Lorraine. But the thing about it is that you will find your audience, and especially in a place like this. I love black theater, and as a student of black film history, like everyone talks about Spike Lee, and I'm not downing him, but before Spike Lee there was Spencer Williams, and while you may or may not appreciate Amos and Andy, he starred, directed, acted, and produced 9 of his own movies. So see, while Hollywood may not call right away, once you get it out there, because right now the guy who played Urkel, Joel White, him and Robert Townsend have internet TV shows.
Yeah, right.
They bypass Hollywood altogether, and they're on the internet with I forgot the name of the show. One is about a single black mother, and Mr. White's program is in his 3rd season. They bypass Hollywood, and with the technology today, you can do your own thing. And when they come knocking at the door, you say, "Well, I got the finished product, I got the book, I got the merchandise, and I got the T-shirts. What is it that you want to talk to me about?"
Right.
All right, it gives you more leverage, but the audience, you will find the audience, and it's not going the overnight success that takes 15 years. Giancarlo Esposito, when he did Gospel Hill, he was waiting for years to find something, and I was amazed when I saw Angela Bassett was in it, Samuel Jackson was in it. I was like, my goodness, and you know, we're looking at big names, so you know, when you give me the role in this, you know. But the whole thing about it, whether you start with big names or unknown names, you have the product. You have the vision. The audience will find you. As long as you put it out there, the audience will appear. Whether it used to be like the Chitlin circuit before, when so much of our stuff was lost because it wasn't recorded. You have an advantage now. You can print it, you can produce it, you can tell it, and you can show it. The audience will find you.